Last night we have yet another Republican debate. I believe it's the 872nd one that they have held in this campaign. And as usual, Rick Perry screwed it up. He has done this nearly every single time. He's either too tired, doesn't know the answer, fumbles his lines, but this one was epic. So he gonna cut 3 different cabinet level departments. That's huge, huge news. Well, let's let him deliver it.
It's 3 agencies of government when I get there that are gone. Commerce, education, and the, what's the third one there? Let's see.
You need 5.
Oh, 5, okay. So commerce, education, and the
EPA?
EPA, there you go. No, okay.
Let's talk deposition.
Seriously? Is EPA the one you were talking about? Or?
No, sir. No, sir. We were talking about the agencies of government. EPA needs to be rebuilt. There's no doubt about that.
But you can't name the third one?
The third agency of government,
Yeah.
I would do away with the education, the commerce, and let's see. I can't. The third one I can't. Sorry. Oops.
Come on. God, that was a disaster, man. I'm amazed by these guys. Have you never been in a debate? You've been governor for, what, over 10 years in Texas? You had to have been countless number of debates. Do they just suck at debating down in Texas? Nobody ever challenged you? Look, you stumbled. That's okay. It's a human thing, man. And I actually don't judge Perry too much for this because it's not that substantive, right? Although, you're cutting 3 enormous cabinet-level agencies. You should probably remember what they are. But first of all, take a pen and just write it down there. Just scribble notes. Remember how Sarah Palin used to write in her hand, like, freedom, win, right? Education, energy. By the way, the third one was energy. So, but mainly, I just wanted to, help him by saying, move on, dude, moveon.org. Just be like, oh, don't remember the third one, I'll come back to it. Boom, that's it, end of this. Instead, he dragged it on for 60 seconds. And then I thought the most amazing part was he's like, yes, the EPA. And then Harwood, bless his heart, actually followed up. And he's like, is it the EPA? He's like, no, I just said that because I was fumbling. Oops. That's a disaster, man. So, look, it's not, if it was just this, you say, okay, look, so he screwed up. It's not that big a deal. It's not substantive. He just forgot, okay? But it's indicative. He sucked at all these debates. And part of the reason that he sucks is because he doesn't even know his own policy positions. That's the number one problem. JR?
It's very similar to what I was going to say. It's the nature of not having a real point or anything. If you don't have a stance and you have to recite what someone's telling you to recite and have someone else's point for someone else's purposes, you can't remember that because you don't believe in it. How can you remember it?
Right.
And actually, there was a little point. I don't know who said it, but I loved it. They seemed like the rest of the candidates felt sorry for him. Somebody went, oh my.
And I like how Ron Paul was like, EPA? I'm trying to help a brother out here, okay? But you're right. I mean, look, I forget things from time to time. You've seen me do it on air, right? But generally, and we do a lot of show, right? But generally, we don't forget because we know what we want to say. It's not like somebody's feeding me notes and, damn it, I forgot who was the general in charge of that thing back, it was 1787 or 1788. It's not, if it's genuinely held positions, usually you don't have to try to remember it like it's a homework assignment. But that's the problem with Rick Perry, and honestly with a lot of politicians. But he finally remembered it later in the debate. Let's show you that.
Governor Perry, name the top programs that you would cut in terms of long-term deficit reduction. Include Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, and defense spending in the order you see fit.
Well, every one of those, and by the way, that was the Department of Energy I was reaching for a while ago. So,
Okay, so he's going to go on TV and try to make this better by playing off of it, which makes sense. He's got to try to do that. Let's see how it worked out.
I will tell you, I don't mind saying clearly that I stepped in it last night, but I think I'm kind of like most Americans, and there's so many agencies of government out there we'd like to forget that that Department of Energy was one of those. So, but seriously.
Yeah, well, I stepped in it. So now, of course, everybody's quoting the "I stepped in it" line, but he's got to say that. What are you going to do, man? He's trying hard. Well, Ann Curry's actually going to come after him pretty aggressively here. Let's watch.
You know, this morning the reaction, Governor, has not been kind. A former aide to George W. Bush told the New York Times your stumble was the, quote, human equivalent of the shuttle Challenger, and one of your fundraisers told the Wall Street Journal simply, he just ended his campaign. Have you thought about ending your campaign? Are you staying in this race, sir?
And you know what today is? It's the 236th birthday of the United States Marine Corps. If there was a day to stay in the fight, this is it. So you bet I'm going to continue on, and this campaign is about ideas. It's not about who's the slickest debater or whether anyone's made a mistake or not. We're all going to make mistakes.
You know what that is? That's what Mr. Pember, my 11th grade English teacher, used to do to me when I used to try to find symbolism in a book, and I'd stretch it. He's like, you're stretching. Today's the 236th birthday of the Marines, hence I will not quit my campaign. Yeah, okay, now I'm buying it. That was weak sauce. Look, by itself, this doesn't mean much, but it has been indicative of how Perry has run his campaign. And remember when Rick Perry first started the campaign, I said he was one of the legitimate candidates, but his trouble was that he might implode. Not explode, but like implode his own campaign because he's generally clueless. And he's a guy who's going to come out, slinging guns, and he came out attacking right away. And so he had a chance of that aggressiveness working for him, or we said it's just going to start punching himself in the face. And it turns out that's exactly what happened. The campaign is imploded. This is just the last nail in the coffin. He's done, man. Let's make this official. Rick Perry's done.